Hello, it's Leslie Fightmaster. And today's class is helping to stretch out and strengthen the back if you have back issues. And we're starting in child's pose. So you can rest your head on the floor, or you can put a blanket between your calves and the backs of your thighs if you have any discomfort in your knees. I had a lot of requests for back stuff. So April Kuan, Laura Necrasnova, I'm sorry, Laura. I had a few others, Pink Hope, wanting good posture and a class to strengthen the low back and a class to stretch the low back. So this is for you guys and anyone else who has issues with the back. So from child's pose, I'm going to come right onto the hands and knees. If you have any discomfort in the knees or you have a thin mat, put a blanket underneath your knees. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Take an inhale, bring your heart forward, lift your chin and tailbone up. Take an exhale, press away from the floor and round your back. Inhale, bring the heart forward. So we're just going to get some movement in the spine to begin. Exhale, chin toward chest. There are different kinds of back issues. Inhale to come forward. So if you do something in this video that doesn't feel good in your back, it hurts your back, exhale, tuck and round. Then just skip that. Don't even mess around with it. Inhale. And coming forward one more time, bringing the arch in the upper back, and exhale, round your back, pull your belly and ribs in. And now come to a neutral spine, and then reach your right leg back, pointing the toes down to the floor. Drop your outer right hip down, make sure your hips are level, and then reach your left arm forward. So I checked my hips with my left hand before I extended it forward. You can check to be sure that the hips are level. It's important not to lift the outer right hip. Reaching out, and let's release that. And we'll do the other side. So the left leg back, point the toes down. Check your hips, make sure you're not lifting the hip. Reach your right arm forward. Find a spot to focus on so it'll help with your balance if you have any balance issues. Keep your belly pulled in, so there's a tendency for the low back to overarch here. So to mitigate that, pull the belly in. And let's come back to table. And once again, right leg back, left arm forward, and lift the belly and ribs. And then as you exhale, going to bring elbow and knee towards center, strengthening. So inhale, reach out, keep the belly lifted. Exhale, like you're moving through water, bring everything into center. Inhale, reach. This is good for the belly and the back muscles. Exhale, draw yourself into a little ball. Inhale. And reach everything out. Keep dropping the outer right hip down. Exhale, pull it all in. Inhale to extend, and exhale to release. Left leg back, right arm forward. Find your balance. Keep lifting the belly and ribs. Inhale to stretch out. Exhale to draw everything in. Make yourself into a little ball. Inhale, reach, 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 extend. And exhale, draw it all in, pull your belly in strongly. Inhale, extend out, drop the outer left hip down, make sure the hips stay level. Exhale, pull it in. And inhale, extend and reach. Exhale, draw everything into center. Inhale, reach out, extend, and exhale, back to table. And take a child's pose, hips to the heels, extending the arms forward. And then from there, we'll come up onto the knees and tuck the toes and make your way to down dog. Down dog's really good. And this one, let's bend the knees so that we can stretch out the spine a little more. So as you bend your knees, press down into the base of the fingers, lift up through the forearms, and reach your belly towards your thighs, bringing your hips right up into the air. So you want the hips high and stretching out the spine. On your next inhale with straight legs, come to plank and slowly lower to the floor. You can also take your knees down first to lower. On an inhale, come into a little cobra pose. Peel the chest up, draw the shoulder blades to the waist, spin the inner thighs up toward the ceiling. Exhale and release. These are all back strengthening poses, these next few poses. And again, inhale for cobra. Again, keep pulling the shoulder blades to the waist. Keep lifting the belly. Press all the toes down, even your baby pinky toes. Exhale and release. And inhale the hands behind the head and lift up. So you're still lifting the chest up. This is a big strengthener for the back. And release. That one's a little more challenging. I'm going to take the arms by the sides, and as you inhale, lift into Shalabhasana. Keep drawing the shoulder blades to the waist. Make sure the back of your neck stays long. You're not crunching your neck and lifting your head up high. You don't have to. Exhale and release and rest. So as we lift the legs up off the floor, we still want to spin the inner thighs up toward the ceiling. That creates space in the low back. Clasp your hands at the low back. Inhale, peel the chest up, lift the legs. And again, spin the inner thighs up toward the ceiling like you're holding a block between the legs. And widen across the collarbones as you drop the shoulder blades down. And exhale, release it. Let everything soften here for a moment. Now, arms in line with your ears. As you inhale, I'm going to lift the right leg and the left arm at the same time. Keep pressing down into the floor with the right arm and left leg, but then lift the other two limbs and keep lifting up. Keep your belly lifted and engaged. And release. And now the left leg and the right arm. Keep stretching through those limbs and pressing down with what's on the floor. Reach the tailbone toward the heels. Keep lifting through the belly. Breathing into the chest. Release. And we'll do it again. So right leg, left arm. As you press down, keep lifting up. Keep the belly lifted and steady breath through the nose, in and out through the nose. And release. And then left leg, right arm, stretching out here. Continue your breath. Keep reaching the crown of the head forward so that you're not lifting your head too much. Release and rest. Slide your hands by your rib cage. Take an inhale and then come back to child's pose. Take a couple of breaths here. Stretching out the spine in the other direction. So the back bends on our belly are really, really good back strengtheners. Good. And from here, we're coming down to the forearms, palms flat. Make sure your elbows stay right under your shoulders here. Step your right foot back, step your left foot back for dolphin plank. Pull your belly in, lift the backs of the knees up. Don't let your head drop. The reason we're doing this is for belly core work. It's very important for the health of the spine to have strong abdominal muscles. Continue to breathe. If it becomes too much, take your knees down. Squeeze your outer hips now, inner thighs, and then lower down and rest. So core work is very important. We always want to keep lifting the low belly. Keep a little engagement there as you're walking, especially if you run or bicycle, any of that. Come to your forearms, elbows right under shoulders, lift the chest, and now pull your heart forward and roll the shoulder heads back any amount, and then rest. Hands by the rib cage. Inhale, upward dog, thighs and knees off the floor, or if that hurts, stay with low cobra. Exhale, come into downward facing dog, which again is a great pose to stretch the spine. And then we'll come to seated. And sit up nice and tall. Bring your hands right behind your knees and lift your feet for Navasana, boat pose. So you can keep your knees bent the whole time. If you can keep your chest lifted and your spine long and straighten the legs, then do that. But if it's too much to not hold on to your legs, then just hold on behind the knees. Good, release. Again, this is abdominal strength and helps to keep the low back safer. And again, inhale, lifting up, and then straighten the right leg and bend it. Take the knees together if you can. Left leg straightens and bend it. Straighten the right, inhale, exhale, bend it. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Exhale, bend it. Inhale the right leg. Exhale. Inhale the left leg up. And exhale, bend the knees. And now both legs, or not. If that's too much, keep the knees bent. And and release and come down. And we'll come on to our backs. And take your feet hips width apart, outer edges of the feet parallel into bridge pose. So lifting into bridge, roll the shoulders under, reach your tailbone toward the backs of your knees, spiral your thighs in toward each other like you're holding a block between the inner thighs. Keep the chin away from your chest and breathe into your chest, more than in your belly. And exhale to release. So if you have a block, put it underneath your low back, right at the base of the spine, right where your sacrum is, if you know where that is. And while you're here, just relax. So you could put the block up higher if you want a bigger stretch, or you can put it down as low as it goes, the lowest part. And again, if you've got discomfort, any pain doing this, then you're going to skip it and keep your back on the floor. And if any of these stretches or strengthening poses feel good to you and you want to continue doing more longer, then push the pause button and keep going. You can stay as long as you like in a pose, or if you want to work on a pose a little bit longer, it's always okay to do that. Let's release and lower down. Hug your knees into your chest for Apanasana pose. Roll off to your right side and press yourself up to seated. And then this is a low squat. So my feet are wider than hips with my toes turned out. So that's the only way I can keep my heels on the floor. If it's hard to let your hips drop down too hard on your knees, then sit on a block or sit on something. If you can allow your hips to drop down, then do, because it will stretch out your spine. If you sit a lot in chairs during the week, this one is a pose that will really, really help your back. If you can hold this one for 5 to 10 minutes a day, you will really see some improvement. Unless, of course, it bothers your knees, and then you won't do it. Take some nice steady breaths. And then we'll sit down and extend the legs in front. Pull your toes back. So if you've got any rounding in your back at all, sit on the edge of a blanket. That is very, very good to keep your spine long. Bend your right knee, right foot on the floor. Reach your left arm up on an inhale. As you exhale, take it across and twist. And every time you inhale, see if you can sit up any taller. Every time you exhale, see if you can roll your right shoulder back, turn your rib cage, turn your chest, and twist a little deeper. And don't forget, where your eyes go, your body will follow. So keep turning to look over the right shoulder. Inhale, bring your head to center. Exhale, release. Bend your left knee, left foot on the floor. Inhale, right arm reaches up. Exhale, take it across to twist. And again, every time you inhale, sit up as tall as you can. Every time you exhale, see if you can twist just a little bit deeper. Oh, point your right toes straight up to the ceiling. Inhale, bring your head to center and unwind. Sit up nice and tall here. So again, posture, very important for your spine. So lift your chest, draw your shoulder heads back. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hinge from the hips and come forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, keep reaching the crown of the head toward your feet. You don't have to bring your head down to your knees. In fact, it's counterproductive. We want to see how much length you can get through your spine. Draw your shoulder blades toward the waist. If you want to come down deeper, you may, but if you've got tension in the neck, don't. Inhale to come up and release. And onto your back. So I'm going to take a few moments here, a few breaths, with my heels in front of my knees. So I've got about a 90-degree bend with my knees. My feet are hips width apart, outer edges of the feet parallel. This position, if done 10 minutes a day, will help to soften the psoas muscles. The psoas muscles connect the thighs to your torso, and they hook around your low back. So if you sit a lot and the psoas muscles tighten from sitting, that causes discomfort and pain in your low back. So this is another pose for you. This one pretty much anybody can do. The hardest part about this pose is staying still for 10 minutes. So I'm not staying for the whole 10 minutes here, but feel free to push the pause button and stay for your own 10 minutes. And this is also our Shavasana for today. While we're here, I've got a quote today from Ralph Waldo Emerson. And if you watch my other videos, you probably know that I really, really like gratitude because I think gratitude is an action. So we have to practice it. Start to stretch to reawaken your body. He said, cultivate the habit of being grateful for every good thing that comes to you. Roll off to one side. And to give thanks continuously. And because all things have contributed to your advancement, you should include all things in your gratitude. Let's bring the hands together in front of the heart. Take a moment to think of a couple of things you're grateful for. Hands to the forehead, clear and loving thoughts. Hands to the heart, clear and loving intentions. And hands to the mouth, clear and loving communications. Namaste. Thank you so much. If you are interested in becoming a yoga teacher, please leave me a comment below. I teach for Yoga Works. I teach trainings, or I can come to you. And I love to teach teacher training. So if you want to be a teacher or you want to deepen your practice, leave me a message. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for commenting. Bye.